Hello there and welcome to another episode of Tutorial Friday. In this episode I will teach you how to play Orianna like a pro and more importantly how to carry with her. I hope you enjoy the video. Hey guys and welcome to this Orianna guide. Let's start off by telling you what to expect in this video. Firstly, we are going to talk about Orianna, her skill set. After that, I will give you some tips about the items you should build in Orianna and which skills you should be leveling in which order. And then we will go through two major parts, the laning phase and the teamfight phase. So without further ado, let's start off with her skill set. Orianna is a very unique champion and has a very unique playstyle attached to her. It is all focused around her ball. You are mastering her ball and the ball deals damage onto enemy players. She is incredibly strong on lane because of her passive. It gives you additional magic damage on your auto attacks and it skills with your ability power. This is great for harassing lane and late game your auto attacks will do a lot of damage. Her first ability, her Q, is an ability that will send your ball towards a position. This deals damage to all enemies that have been hit by the ball, so keep in mind that this does not only damage the players that are at the position you are sending the ball to. It actually deals damage to everyone who has been between the ball's initial position and the ball's ending position. Her second ability, her W, deals area damage around her ball. This is part of your main damage output and should be used after hitting your ball onto an enemy. It does not only deal damage but also slows all enemies around it, making it easy for you to auto-attack your enemies. If used onto ally champions, it gives a speed buff in the area around the ball. Her third ability, her E, will send her ball towards an ally and shield it. This is great on lane to shield off some incoming damage. You can also use it to position your ball nicely, for instance on a tank that jumps in an entire team. Remember that it also deals damage to all enemies that are hit when the ball is traveling to a position. Then her final ability, her ultimate. This is the most amazing spell for Kit because it can win games on itself. It sucks people around the ball towards the position of the ball, putting them all in one place and dealing significant amounts of damage. Comboing this together with other AoE spells works fantastic and can create a perfect wombo combo. With Orianna I max Q first, then W and then E. For items I tend to get Athene's Unholy Grail first, followed by a Rabidon Deathcap. After that I get my Void Staff, Zhonya's Hourglass and Lich Bane for maximum damage output. I get my Boots of Speed before the Athene's Unholy Grail and my Sorcerer Shoes after the Athene's. Alrighty then, all the basic stuff is done now and we will start with how to play Orianna. Firstly, the laning phase. On lane you want to harass as much as possible with your auto attacks, because they will deal more damage than any mid laner. Together with that, try to position your ball offensively for zoning. If your ball is near the enemy minions, it is usually positioned right to land a QW when he goes for the last hit. Even though he has to play aggressively, keep in mind that Orianna is relatively weak to ganks. Have wards up and keep looking at your wards. Stay on the side of the wards on lane and then you will always be able to walk away in time before he arrives on lane. With your W speed buff and slow, it is possible to run away without much chase potential from your enemies. Farming with Orianna is easy as well. Try to last hit with auto attacks early though. Using your spells will cost you a lot of mana and when you don't have mana you are very vulnerable to ganks and you won't be able to dominate your lane as hard as you normally would. Once you have your Athene's Unholy Grail and or your blue buff, you will be able to kill entire waves with your spells. Push the wave into his turret and make sure he won't be able to roam around the map. If you want to carry games, you will have to dominate your lane hard. Orianna is an excellent all-round champion that does not have any hard counters on lane, so make advantage of that. If you harass enough, you will be able to outfarm and perhaps kill your opponents easily. Don't die to ganks and then you will be able to be a beast in the teamfighting phase. And if you want to set up ganks for your jungler, pop a good ult and there you go. Once you have dominated the lane, let's go to the rest of the game. team fighting. Orianna is reasonably squishy and should stay in the back for the most of the fights. You do a lot of damage over time because of your long cooldowns, so keep spamming those skills and be sure to hit your targets. To do this, keep track of your ball and position it near enemies. If they walk over the ball, press R and BAM! Usually the enemies don't keep track of your ball, so the trick is to keep your ball near the enemies and just let it be there. At some point they will forget about it and just walk over it, and there you go, a perfect opportunity to throw a perfect ult. Another method is to let a tank initiate for you. Orianna works good with hard initiators like Malphite, Wukong and Vi. It is less hard to pull this off since you rely on them doing a proper initiate. Then all you have to do is press R. Imagine a Wukong initiating with his ultimate, which is dealing area of effect damage, and then you ult an entire team into that Wukong ultimate. Tons of damage, yeah. Stay in the back for the rest of the fight, land QWs on multiple targets and shield your carries. You can peel greatly for your AD carry because of your shield and your slow/speed buff on your W. Always keep those auto attacks in there as well to assure you do as much damage as you can, because those auto attacks are very painful to your enemies. If you make sure you don't get caught by going too deep, then you will be able to carry games. I promise. Orianna is extremely versatile and is one of the strongest mid laners in the game. You use her wisely and win games, summoners. That was it for this week's Tutorial Friday. If you liked the video, please press the like button below. This helps me greatly in growing my YouTube channel. And if you're not subscribed already, go subscribe to get weekly tutorials about League of Legends.